My time is 10 minutes. I promise you that if you do not get any value from what I speak, you can take my book for free. First thing is, you need to know your wealth gauge. So I'm here to tell you that all income is not the same. It's okay to do stuff that you love, that you don't get paid for. What you love to do is at the top. What you get paid for what you love to do. If it adds value, ultimately they are going to meet sometime. What are you good at? And what is needed for the world?
We have a lineup of two amazing speakers. Kiran is one of those people who could kick his comfortable salary to do something totally unknown. Kiran was at Intel in technology, where he decided to quit his job and get into real estate. So I'm not surprised that Kiran relaunched a YouTube channel, Life Clap, and it's not just about real estate. I did look at it, okay, Kiran. So I'm not just. Kiran is named as one of the top 120 real estate agents in the country by none other than the Wall Street Journal. Oh, wow. That's an achievement. He is named as top 100 in Arizona. So not only within the state, even within the country, he's recognized as a top performing realtor. He has co-authored a book with none other than Brian. I would like to introduce Kiran Vedantam. Thank you, for coming up here and giving us this opportunity.
Thank you. My cousin works for the airlines. He's flying from Phoenix to DC. He told me that once they have the flight plan made, they cannot change it. Even though he has the flight in full control, unless there is a big terrorist activity, he has to go through hoops to change the flight plan. That means at Phoenix, they decide that they have to go like this to DC. And the nose of the flight, it determines what angle it has to be, the degree of how it should be oriented. If it changes by 1 degree, just 1 degree, here, instead of DC, they are going to end up in Alaska. The reason I bring it up is I found out after working for 8 years at Intel that unless you know where you want to go, the wind is going to drift you and you might end up in Alaska. For us, retiring was not about staying home and not doing anything. For us, retirement really meant doing what we want to do, when we want to do it, how we want to do it, with whom we want to do it. That was our main thing. It was not about money. We are not big spenders. So me and my wife, we both were working as software engineers. We worked there for 8 years, we quit. The reason everything that I'm going to share today is Kirti told me that she is helping families build a dream. The agenda is to help you guys. My mortgage company is called Loan Gauge. I like gauges. I like to know where we are going. The information that I'm going to share with you is going to help you decide if you are ready to retire from what you do. As he mentioned, we retired twice. The reason for that is I thought it's enough. And I'll tell you what I did to realize that we are ready to retire. First thing is you need to know your wealth gauge. So on this side, this is the income. How much income you are making, right? And then this side is all the liabilities or all the payments that you have, be it your credit card payments, it's cash flow. I'm talking about every monthly budget, right? If you're making $10,000, if your liabilities, paying all your credit cards, education loan, car loan, everything, house payment, everything are all your liabilities. So how many of you think what's the main asset? Primary home. How many of you think the home you are living in, is it an asset or liability? The liability. Lot of people think, first time home buyers think they are buying an asset, but it's a liability because it's going to take money out of your pocket. So you need to figure out how much you can afford it based on your income. And this gauge, it keeps on going from that to that. It's okay to go wave like that, because if my kids are going to college, we might have more payments going out and our income might not sustain it. When we were at Intel, me and my wife, we are making close to $10,000 each per month. So $20,000 a month. It was comfortable salary. Everything, the liabilities were paid off. We were started to invest in assets, right? I'm here to tell you that all income is not the same. So focus on this quadrant here. There are 4 quadrants of how you can make money. Cash flow quadrant. Robert Kiyosaki talks about it a lot, right? If I have to show up to work to make the money, the value of that dollar is totally different than when I don't have to show up and money is being made. Two totally different things. Part of the liabilities is you have to know what you have to compromise, what you don't want to compromise. The first home that we rented, my wife clearly said, I need to have laundry inside the apartment. I don't want a laundry outside the apartment. I had to pay $200 more every month. So there are some things that you have to do. You have to know what your liabilities are. Based on that, you have to do the income. Based on that, you have to plan your income so that your destination from Phoenix is going to go to the right place. So E is an employee wherein you are trading your time. If you are working for Silicon Valley Bank or any bank, this is going to go away. Then the self-employed, wherein if you are a real estate agent, I'm basically not slave of the employer, but I'm slave of somebody else. It's the same thing. Instead of going to Intel, weekends and evenings I'm showing homes. It's the same. There is no difference. You need to try to get to this side wherein you are a business owner or an investor. As a business owner, you see the cars in the parking lot at Makutu's. They are paying about $1,000 to get their birthday party done, and all that goes into my pocket while I'm not there. That's a business wherein you have processes, you have employees, you have resources, you are able to walk out of it and it runs by itself. Then another thing is investments. So when you came here, you saw the buildings like HomeSmart is our tenant. Regardless if I'm here or not, they are going to pay me the rent. We have executive suites, co-working spaces. We have 62 tenants in that building. They are going to pay me regardless. And all that, I have done it because I was able to have my gauge was extremely on the right side, and I used that money and I bought assets. So there is good debt and bad debt. This concept of good debt and bad debt, in the sense that if you are trying to buy assets which can give you money, then that's good debt. I have loan on this building, it's not paid off, but this debt is good debt because after all expenses, it actually overcompensates me more than me and my wife working at Intel. These 2 buildings pay us already. That's the reason I was able to walk away from Intel, because I'm like, this is enough. But then after I retired, I realized that retiring and staying home is not the end goal. The end goal actually is a journey, how you get to it and whether you are intentional about it. Even now I show homes. If somebody wants to see a home, if you want to buy a home, I'm going to do it because I love doing it. I'm intentional. I know that once the home is bought, I'm done. It's like having a job at Intel, same thing. But my goal is I want to have like 90% of my wealth coming from this quadrant. And as an employee and self-employed, you are going to work hard here when you are active, and by the time you are 50 or whatever your goal is, then you are going to jump here and do this. You have to intentionally plan your thing. How do you plan it? Second question, right? How do I plan? What I should do? How should I get there? That's a $1 million question. I have a simple quadrant for you here. There are 4 circles, right? What you love to do is at the top. What you get paid for what you love to do is this part, right? So these are 2 extremes. What I love to do, I might not be getting paid for it. I love to do YouTube. I love to do it. I'm yet to get paid for it, but I love to do it. So it's okay to do stuff that you love, that you don't get paid for. If it adds value, ultimately they are going to meet sometime. People have a lot of followers. If you don't follow my YouTube channel, you can help me get to it, because you'll help me meet the middle wherein I start to get paid. So this is my YouTube channel. If you can subscribe to it, it's going to help me get there. Then, what are you good at? And what is needed for the world? Just that you are an artist doesn't mean the world needs your art anymore. So you have to find what are you good at and what does the world need. Then you'll have an intersection there. So there are very lucky few who can recognize their midpoint. It is possible that someday I'm here, someday I'm here, someday I'm here, someday I'm here. As long as majority of my time I get to the middle, it's like having this heart, right? My heart. If I am there, I'm in a good place. That's what we all want to get to. And I'm talking about this because this is what I learned over a period of maybe 10 years. When I was at Intel, my wife was at Intel, we were talking about all these investments. We read a lot of podcasts, and this is what we learned. In conclusion, this is what I want to tell you. You working hard right now is great. You have to work hard. But what are you doing with those assets that you are trying to build? If you are not building any assets, you will be a slave on this side. If you are joining HGI and if you are doing it, you will be slave for that too. You need to start investing in assets. If you don't know how to invest in assets, talk to a professional. Don't talk to a friend. If you talk to a friend, he might just tell you what they know. Talk to somebody who's been there, done that.